It's the Wilk Report. I'm Michael Wilk, coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio. We've got a bit of fake outrage and controversy over something that really you would think people would have a lot more common sense over. Apparently the YouTubosphere is all up in arms over something posted on the Huffington Post about the children's Rankin and Bass holiday special, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'm just going to go over this because this is just too stupid. You know, people are getting upset for reasons that really have nothing to do with reality, and it's really stupid because the reason they're upset isn't valid. It's based on a misinterpretation. Okay, and here's a screen capture. Huffington Post posted, viewers noticed some very disturbing details in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Here's the actual website here. Story by Ed Mazza said, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer aired Tuesday night on CBS. This was posted on November 28th, so just a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, so it aired last month. Twitter users gathered around the digital fireplace to share the moment, and what a moment it was. Some people joked that they noticed a few things in the Christmas classic that they didn't always spot or simply ignored when they saw it years ago. Here are some of those humorous observations. Sarah B. says, every year the elf throws a bird out of the sleigh without an umbrella, even though earlier the bird said it can't fly. Every damn year. Another one joked, trivia fact, Yukon Cornelius was the first hipster. And it shows a picture of Yukon Cornelius, who is from the island of Misfit Toys. Some other ones like, okay, I'm going to say what we're all thinking. In the scene where Rudolph's nose is revealed, Santa is kind of a dick. Ellen O'Neill, one of the great mysteries of modern times. What is wrong with the dolly on the island of Misfit Toys? Why is she a misfit? And apparently it's because the dolly is perpetually depressed and kind of bums kids out. Here's another one. If I was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I would have told Santa to kiss my red glowing ass. Now you need me. Good luck flying in the dark. And of course, the final one. Ugh, here comes Comet, the worst coach you've ever seen since on screen. Since the last movie you ever watched about youth sports, and it goes into jokes about bullying. So, but yeah, people are okay. And here's another one. Oh no, it's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't have the strength to watch this again. Those poor elves that bully with the whip, abusive deer, dentist shaming, unloved toys. It's too much. All right, so so people are getting upset over these tweets and the Huffington Post article itself, but what they're not really getting is the bit that I'm going to show right here. I want you to take a look in the upper left-hand corner. The word circled in red on the screen. It's in the comedy section, people. This is not meant to be taken seriously. I mean, come on, really? I mean, you're taking this way too seriously. I know there's a justifiable paranoia over so-called SJWs. Complaining about everything. But, really, I mean, this is a joke article citing joke tweets about a kids' TV show that people are watching, years after the fact, when they're watching it as adults with different eyes than they had when they were children, and a different understanding. It's, these are the kind of observations that you might make, like your adult self might make that, after watching something as a kid. Dr. Darrell L. Williams Has anyone noticed that within the first 5 minutes of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, two characters get bullied? Keith O'Neill says, let it be known that the toy bird that can't fly gets murdered by one of Santa's elves during the end credits of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Gotta give credit to Ralph Garman for pointing this out to me. I mean, this is funny shit, though. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm in my 40s, and, I look at stuff now that I saw when I was 8 years old, and, 44-year-old me is not going to look at stuff the same way as 8-year-old me. That's just a fact. So, this whole bullshit about, let me play the video for you. Yeah, wait for it to load with my crappy internet connection. Just be a second. One hopes. Okay, well, it's just trying to load the GIF, but... But yes, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you just... Yeah, so Melanie J, I can even buy into his father being terrible, but Santa, that's messed up. And speaking of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, what the ultimate bully comeback, those reindeer and their games, very, very mean. We know Rudolph saves the day in the end, but it hurts to watch little dear Rudolph. Kim Huck made my favorite tweet, actually, and I'm going to read it here for you. Watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the moral of the story I've learned since watching it as a kid, people are dicks until they need something from you. Which is true, actually. It's a very humorous and life observation, and all too accurate, actually. And I've had this in my own life where, people are dicks to me until they need something, and then all of a sudden it's like, Mike, buddy, how you doing? It's like, yeah, fuck you. But, yeah, but people are taking this too seriously. I mean, people like, I respect, like, Overlord DVD, a.k.a. Dictor Van Dooncock, Mecha Random 42, Midnight's Edge. I mean, these are all people I highly respect and get along with, and, we do share a lot of opinions, but this is one of those things I have to disagree with them on because, look at the section this is posted under. It's comedy. This is not meant to be taken seriously, guys. This is not, some example of SJW's, trying to destroy a holiday classic. This is just, a bit of humor, trying to give us a break from all that. I mean, you can actually look at something that you watched as a kid and realize, all the deficiencies it had back then and all the subtle Easter eggs and dirty jokes that the animators told. I mean, hell, you go back and look at, in fact, here, I'm even going to, I'm even going to look this up. Yeah, let me see if I can look this up. But if you go back and watch some of the Disney classics, you get you look at Little Mermaid, for example. It's gonna have see if I can get a higher resolution picture here. Yeah, so got that here. Yeah, sorry, it's taking forever. My internet browser connection is slower than molasses these days. But, all right, so here it comes up, The Little Mermaid. Probably can't see it because of the picture quality, but the Priest and the Little Mermaid from 1989, Disney, had kind of a boner. It's like, this is a kind of thing that you might find disturbing because really, this is a kid's movie. It's not meant to be seen by. You're not meant to have an erection in a kid's movie. I mean, that's a no-brainer. So, this whole outrage over Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I mean, it's just showing, just, funny observations from people, I mean, it is possible to become so paranoid about, SJWs that you subscribe to what I call outrage culture, which is, you launch into a tirade about stuff that, frankly, it's not worth getting worked up over. It's one of those things that, you go looking for excuses to be offended. And, how is that not the same thing as what everyone else is doing that you're calling SJWs? Where it's like now you're being offended because people are telling jokes about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I mean, not everything is some, SJW offended thing. This is, I mean, here's another thing. It's like roses are red, elf practice is avoidable, deviation from the norm will be punished unless it is exploitable. Adam Hefner, I will never not tweet this when Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is trending. I mean, this is just funny shit, though. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, are you really telling me that you don't look at stuff you used to watch as a kid and realize all the stuff you couldn't appreciate back then because you were a kid? I mean, hell, I was just coming out of my childhood. I was in my teens, late teens, when Batman the Animated Series first aired, and that actually was kind of something that the whole family could watch because there was stuff in there that adults could appreciate, references to philosophy and pop culture and, real adult themes like hero worship and vengeance and, what obsession with it can do to a person, all kind of intermixed in something that, is broadcast for kids. But, as a kid, you don't realize that until you get older. And I was fortunate enough that I was able to watch that as a person in his late teens, where I could appreciate some of that subtext a lot more than I would have if I'd been, say, 10 years younger. So, looking at this stuff now as an adult. Okay, and yeah, here, Super 70 Sports. After 40 plus years of watching this bastard, I can't remember what Bro Eyes actually looked like and refused to Google him and ruin that for myself. Well, he looks basically just like the snowman. They modeled it after him, dude. But I mean, like I said, none of this is, none of this is meant to be taken seriously. So, just kind of chill out for a minute, people, and, just understand that, this is, it's meant to be humorous. And, sometimes you really kind of have to just, forget your outrage for a moment and step back and say, hey, look, okay, I get it. This is just being done for fun and for humor, and, it's not meant to be taken seriously. So that's pretty much my opinion. Take it or leave it. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button and then the bell icon to receive notifications whenever I upload new content. And also, if you want to support the channel, head over to either our Patreon page or our new Subscribe Star page, because apparently Patreon is also starting to censor content, according to Mundane Matt. I'll link to that in the description. Head on over there, contribute, help improve the podcast. This is Michael Wilk, or the Wilk Report, saying take care, good night, I'm out of here. And stay warm if you're in a colder climate. Good night.